Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Richfield High School on a chilly, frosty, snowy evening. TSB Television proudly presents high school girls basketball. We've got a classic suburban conference matchup for you as the North St. Paul Polars pay a visit to the Richfield Spartans and attempt to sweep the number 7 team in Class 3A for the conference series. Will they pull it off? You gotta stick around to find out. Welcome, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, joined by Jeremy Daves. Jeremy, we were here at Richfield a couple weeks ago. They got throttled by Hill Murray, 84-49. But since then, it's been all W's. How have they done it?
Well, they've done it by shooting a better percentage because the other day when they played for the Hill Murray, they weren't shooting too well. And in this game here, well, like you said, in the last 2 games, they were shooting a better shooting percentage.
And North St. Paul, more of a defensive style. They've only scored 60 points or more twice this season. And when they beat Richfield, it was one of those occasions, a 61-56 overtime win that was helped by Richfield getting into foul trouble early and struggling from the free throw line. How does North St. Paul repeat?
Well, they got to do the same thing they did in the first game, defense. It's going to be a scoring versus defense game. If they can held Richfield to 40 points or even around 40 points, then pretty much would be a game for North St. Paul.
And speaking of games, let's take a look at our keys to the game. We'll start with the visiting North St. Paul Polars. They'll want to contain Jessica January, and January rattled off 28 points in a first matchup of the season. So containing her is hard to do, but she has been stopped once. Edina limited her to 10 points in a 49-38 victory on the road earlier this season. And they'll want to watch out from the three-point arc. Richfield is loaded with sharpshooters, January one of them, but they also have Hannah Wise. And with North St. Paul playing more of a defensive style inside, they have to make sure Richfield doesn't get those shots outside. Keys for Richfield are pretty simple. They want to out-rebound their opponents. It's going to be a little tricky to do. Richfield with a small team, no one above 6 feet. We saw that against Hill Murray. They'll want to make sure they have assists down as well. January has been averaging 10 assists a game in her last 2 games. Hannah Wise had 15 points and 12 assists and a 99-76 win over Chanhassen. And then finally, they just want to forget about it. Their first performance, forget about their losses. That's what Leanne Weiss told me before the game. When their team loses, she just says, forget about it. You always have another chance.
Well, you want to go back to what you were saying about the Richfield players being on the 6 foot. Size is always going to play a factor in Richfield because they have no 6-footers. So rebounding, boxing out is going to be a key factor in this game.
How will those factors play out? And can Richfield stay on pace with Hill Murray in the Classic Suburban Conference standings? We'll find out. The starting lineups are coming up next. You're watching high school girls basketball on TSB Television. And now we move to the starting lineups. The North St. Paul Polar 5 will be Abby Luger at guard, Michelle Savageau, number 24 at guard, Rachel Coulter, number 35 at guard, number 44 Lisa Loeffler at center, and number 45 Sophie Jaskolski at center. Lisa Loeffler, North St. Paul's offensive catalyst with 13.6 points per game. High IQ, high awareness, really get things going.
Yeah, I'm looking for her to come out to a great start and basically have a good game. You say she can jump, she can shoot the outside shot, she can shoot the inside, she's versatile, she's athletic. We'll see as the game goes by.
Richfield starting 5, nothing new if you followed our coverage. Number 14, Jessica January at guard. Number 25, Brianne Guyton at center. Number 30, Sierra Ford Washington at guard. Number 33, Katie Anderson at center. Number 35, Hannah Wise at guard. Keep your eye, of course, on Jessica January. 40 points in a win over Chanhassen. She scored 30 or more points 6 times this season. She had not accomplished that feat at all a year ago. And she's almost doubled her scoring average between this year and last year.
She has to come out and play her game. Not just dominate, but get her team involved. Not just her shooting like a lot of jump shots, a lot of scoring, but she has to get her team involved as well.
And she has no problem doing so, getting about 10 assists in the last 2 games. She averages about 5.6 assists on the season. In many ways, she emulates a certain player for the Minnesota Lynx who Where's number 13?
Lindsay Whalen.
I was hoping you would figure that out. We'd like to thank GrandStadium.tv for providing an outlet to webcast this and all our games for you this season from TSP Television. We'd like to remind you, if you want to order a DVD copy of this, just visit us at thesportspring1.blogspot.com. That's thesportspring1.blogspot.com, and you can get a copy of this and all the games we have broadcast on TSP Television this season. And as we mentioned, North St. Paul's 61-56 overtime win in the first meeting. There is some classic suburban implications on the line, but as we mentioned with the Richfield-Hill Murray game, the contenders like those two are worried about more than conference titles.
So basically, this game is like a revenge game for Richfield. They want to come out on top of this game here.
Well, it's all about the build-up to March. Right now, we have this game to build up as Richfield will get the first possession. There's Jessica January. We've got a lot of stories on her and a few stories on Hannah Wise, who drains the three from the corner.
You know, March is slow. It's slowly, not slowly, but it's right around the corner.
And North St. Paul can't respond. Coulter short on the reception. Hannah Wise, who scored that three, all conference the last 2 years for the Richfield soccer team. January short on the pull-up and the rebound by Jaskolski. Luger to Savageau, out to Coulter. Inside to Jaskolski, can't draw the foul. Jump ball, and the possession arrow favors Richfield.
Yeah, North St. Paul's starting off to a slow start.
And you notice Jessica January, she's shaking that right hand of hers a bit. I don't know if she jammed it or if it's a little nervous or it's stiff or what's going on. Jaskolski short on the hook, rebound Guyton.
Well, this is my first time actually watching North St. Paul.
This is also my first North St. Paul game. Hannah Wise can't get the layup, rebound Coulter. North St. Paul, actually a neighbor for both of us.
Yep, right outside the Maplewood area.
I don't live too far from there. I'd always would get them confused with Minneapolis North when I first started working on the Intercity All-Star Classic, because they both have the same nickname and they both go by the same name, North.
Yeah, I believe a lot of people would miscommunicate them with North St. Paul and North Minneapolis.
Well, one's blue, one's red. That's about it. Officially, North St. Paul is North High School, and the North over in Minneapolis is named Minneapolis North. January short on the short-range J, but she gets her own rebound and draws the foul.
Have they ever faced each other, ever?
Now that I cannot tell you. I have not researched that far.
I'm about to research that on the
My research has been focused on this game for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's January going to the line. She drained 2 clutch free throws in their victory over Providence Academy. At the end of the game, 13.2 seconds left, and then she dished out to Sierra Ford Washington to ice it. She was 1 of 2 here. Coulter, too strong.
Well, they're really going off to a slow start.
Still a long way to go. We're only in the opening minutes of the first half. January inside. Wise with the assist, January with the 2.
Yeah, I think she's remembering about the last time they faced each other.
But they left North St. Paul open on the other end, and Luger is the recipient of the layup. North St. Paul on the board, 6-2 with 15:51 in half number 1.
North St. Paul looking like they're playing a 3-2 zone.
Well, January, she did get 28 points in that first meeting with North St. Paul, so she really didn't struggle against that team. They just got their post players in foul trouble. January, bullseye.
Nice shot.
You think she's waking up?
I think she remember what happened the last time they met. She's not letting the same thing happen twice.
Quick timeout by Daniel Larson. 15:22 remaining. Half 9-2 is the score. North St. Paul at 13-6. They're coming off a win over St. Paul Highland Park. It was a 48-38 win. North St. Paul, very good on defense, only giving up 42 points per game. And as we mentioned in the open, they've only scored 60 points or more twice. That's going to be something to keep an eye on, is the score. If Richfield runs it up into the 70s or 80s, North St. Paul will have a big assignment on their hands.
If he gets up to 70 points a game, it's pretty much going to be over with by then. It's just my opinion.
Well, that's what you're here for, right? I just point out the obvious.
But they want to keep Richfield into the 40, 50 point range if they want to win this game.
In the game, well, there's Loeffler, too strong. Rebound goes to Guyton. Wise. Guyton, 15-footer, no good. Rebound, Savageau. Luger.
Oh.
No good. Ford Washington with the board.
Well, Richfield's doing a good job rebounding.
Wise. No. Luger with the rebound. And we're going the other way. Savageau loses the handle. Saves possession.
Oh, nice.
And January races into the stands to get that steal, and Wise picks it up. She will go coast to coast, can't finish.
That
Rebound
acrobatic
Coulter.
Athleticism by January.
We'll talk more about that.
Whoa.
Speaking of athleticism, Luger showing some moves of her own.
The hop step.
Easter's still a few weeks away, but Luger, well, she's getting in shape for the spring and the winter. January missed the pull-up. She struggled from the floor against Hill Murray. She did eventually finish with 20, but that was one reason why they got blown out by 35. We ended up having a mercy rule going into effect. But Leanne Wise told me after that game, she just told her Spartans, forget about it. You've got another game, you've got another match with Hill Murray. You can't let those blowouts or close losses affect you.
Well, yeah, they get another chance, and I mean, you can't win them all.
And with the playoff format, as Wise gets the steal, every team makes it. January thought about a three, pump fakes and drives left, and the finish. We were talking about her athleticism. In our last game with Hill Murray, she did a cartwheel and a somersault, and she did the splits back at the Richfield Holiday Classic, and she can do all that because she participated in gymnastics until 6th grade.
She could do it all.
She played gymnastics and basketball at the same time, actually. She started basketball in 2nd grade.
That'll give you athleticism up.
Now that's an interesting dichotomy, though, because in gymnastics, a lot of folks tell me, they favor shorter athletes because lower center of gravity. In basketball, we often talk about height being an advantage.
Yeah.
So if you're playing basketball and gymnastics, how does that balance? I suppose at 5'7", she has found the balance.
It also help her get to the basket.
And if nothing else, dazzle us with those acrobatic moves of hers. Rachel Hannigan in for North St. Paul. She loses it to Guyton. It's 11-4 Spartans over Polars. Ford Washington, foul.
I'm looking at Richfield's grade level. They have a young team. We have a lot of 11th graders and 10th graders. And I was watching the JV game earlier. I mean, they got two or three good players on the JV team. So Richfield looking to be contenders in years to come.
Laurel Savitt got the foul. That's her first. And you mentioned about Richfield, the only senior with starting experience, as Ford Washington makes both, is Anderson. Wise is a junior. January and Ford Washington are sophomores, and Guyton is a junior.
Very young team.
Young team, but they have a dog-like sense of the ball, and Luger strips it away for North St. Paul. Can she drive coast to coast? No, she kicks out to Angie Jackson. Inside to Savitt. North St. Paul struggling to find their shots, and Daniel Larson told me they've struggled to find those shots as of late, but they've still been reeling off wins. They're on a 5-game winning streak.
Well, defense does plays a factor.
What have we said? In any sport, it's the ultimate cliche. Defense wins championships. Richfield ball.
Well, they're down 13-4. We'll see how this game progresses.
Richfield is moving the ball. They're getting some shots, or I should say North St. Paul is moving the ball, just not finding the basket yet. But they haven't struggled all that much on offense. They're just not finding the basket.
But when they do, this is going to be an interesting game.
January missed again. Her pull-ups have not come to form yet.
There we go.
Speaking of pull-ups, that's Lisa Loeffler. We mentioned high IQ. She's the player that gets things moving for North St. Paul, averaging 13.6 points per game.
You don't find too many teams that they go to their bigs a lot. It's like a guards league.
Lindblom missed, and the foul on Fort Washington over the back call.
Most of the scoring from just about all the teams here in the Twin Cities is all guards and forwards. You don't find too many bigs scoring the most points in the team.
Well, we saw another big who is the team's leading scorer and a solid force herself in Classic Suburban Conference play, Bethany Doolittle over at Hill Murray, the 6'4" player who has a long-range pull-up.
Yeah, but Hill Murray has like three other players who can score.
There's Savageau. North St. Paul sending in their second string. For three. In and out. That would have been big, but Jackson missed.
Yeah, she pushed her shot in.
Lindblom.
Whoa.
Off target. Savageau with the rebound. She has numbers. North St. Paul will not pursue. Jaskolski in the paint, short. Can't get her own rebound. Lindblom picks it up. Here's January to Wangerin. They've run that play before, but it doesn't pay off this time. Fort Washington gets the rebound. January still can't find the pull-up. Lindblom with the rebound.
Bad shot.
And Fort Washington makes it work on the third try. Richfield up, and from the looks of this, you'd think they'd be dominating, but they're only up by 9.
Well, North St. Paul is slowing them down.
North St.
Paul
Paul
not scoring. They're scoring.
North St. Paul just a few possessions away from making Richfield panic a little bit. Just haven't found any rhythm yet. And a turnover.
That's a big no-no. You don't want to do no turnovers. Not when you're down 15-6.
Jackson coughs it up. 9:21 left in the first half. Wise thought about a three. Luger slips up, but Wise can't make her pay for it. Jaskolski with the rebound. And you have to give credit to North St. Paul for hanging in there. Richfield missing a few key shots that would really set the momentum up early. Top of the key, missed. That was Hannigan.
Their shots are not falling.
But Richfield can't hang on to the ball, and North St. Paul will get another possession. Substitution for the Polars. Loeffler coming in. Savitt stepping out. Both Loeffler, Savitt, and Coulter all coached MYAS teams earlier this year. January with the steal, looking for Lindblom. Gets to her, but she can't get set up in time. January, pump fakes again, drives left, can't finish this time.
Well, back to you saying all three of them coached, so that'll give them good leadership and as far as, you know, getting their team motivated.
Foul is on, and Anderson, her first. Luger open down court.
Too hard.
Give credit to Lindblom for disrupting her rhythm. And that's what we talk about all the time. You never want to give up on a play because you never know when you might disrupt something. Wise, got it.
Oh, nice one. She went under, up and under.
17-6. That breaks the Richfield scoring drought. North St. Paul would like to end theirs. We were talking about Coulter and Savitt and Loeffler as January goes down. Loeffler for the pull-up swish.
Yeah, she's going to need more of that in this game.
That's 4 points for Loeffler. She and Luger are the only players with points on the board for the Polars. January, 15-footer, swish. And
that's what she does best.
She already has 10 points. And Luger open again down court, and this time she is fouled. That's the third time Luger has found herself open down court. Hannah Wise, or Leanne Wise, the head coach at Richfield, will be looking at that tape and probably addressing that to her players.
Well, she's catching Richfield falling asleep.
It's the third time they've fallen asleep. Ford Washington will be called for a second foul. North St. Paul's win over Richfield was won in part because Richfield struggled from the free throw line, just 34% from the charity stripe. North St. Paul wasn't that strong either, but again, all those elements aligned just perfectly for North St. Paul to pull off a classic suburban upset.
Yes, that was an upset.
And that was also part of Richfield's long road trip where they played 8 out of 10 games on the road. Guyton in and out. Coulter drives to the baseline, gets the right-handed layup.
You can't let her go baseline like that. She should have cut. January should have cut in.
Savageau with the steal.
Baseline.
That's like we said, North St. Paul just a few possessions away from getting some momentum. Here's their chance. We talked about the coaching from Coulter and Savitt and Loeffler, and they all went to Daniel Larson after they were done. Traveling violation on Luger.
Wow, that was traveling.
It was the right call. She stepped and then went into her defender. But they all went to Daniel Larson and said, Coach, how do you do this?
How do you do
It gave them an experience that not many high school players get. Having the experience of managing kids and plays, because most of the time they're on the court. Wise.
Well, that to build their leadership up. Well, and I'm pretty sure all 3 of them are captains of the team.
Loeffler for 3. In and out. Rebound, Jaskolski. And 1.
I didn't know Loeffler could shoot 3s.
I'm convinced that in the Classic Suburban Conference, almost every team has a post that can shoot long range.
Yeah.
Leanne Wise will call timeout, the principal of Centennial Elementary School here in the Richfield School District. And as she has a word with her team, we have the Richfield Pep Band performing. But she said the Richfield program becoming much more mature now than they were even at the beginning of the season around the holiday tournament. Their defense has improved, their composure has improved, and that really was evident in the game against Providence Academy. They trailed by 13 points on that weekend game.
Well,
and then they clawed their way back to win by 3, of course, capitalized on those January free throws late. And that was really a confidence booster after getting blown out by 35 against Till Murray earlier that week.
Well, when you play on a team as the season goes by, you're gonna mature more and grow more, and your team chemistry will go up a lot more.
Jaskolski completes a 3-point play, an 8-0 run for the Polars, and as we said, they just needed a few possessions to get things rolling. Now they're rolling.
Yes, they basically just woke up.
Taylor Moore in the game for the Spartans. January, tough shot.
The acrobatic athleticism.
For her, that's standard. When you can do cartwheels and somersaults and splits to save possession, or at least make an effort for it, Savageau missed the three. When you can do all those acrobatic things, tough shots are standard. But that just makes January such a versatile athlete. She scored her 1,000th point earlier this season in that 40-point performance against Chanhassen, and she still has a couple years left.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable.
And there's another semi-cartwheel from January.
I mean, 1,000 points as a sophomore. I know she played ball since she was in 7th grade, but that's unbelievable. That's just unbelievable.
Well, you got to start young. Lindblom missed the three. Wise with the rebound. Can't get the cleanup. Gets her own rebound. Oh, she's padding her stats. She was padding her stats.
I like how how Richfield boxed out the bigs for them to get three rebounds in that pass possession.
Wise with 7 points now and 2 more rebounds to add to those totals.
Richfield is doing a good job getting rebounds.
And they answer with 2 quick baskets to stop the Richfield run. Luger, bullseye.
There we go.
Luger with 9. The unsung hero, as Daniel Larson put it, metaphorically. She really gets things moving. She may not score a lot of points, but one of those players that really gets the rhythm clicking for the Polars. Guyton almost turned it over, but it went off a North St. Paul player.
That was nice defense there.
Daniel Larson said Luger makes us go, and right now Luger is making North St. Paul go and making it a fight with Richfield. January again.
Somebody's got to put a body on her, but she is going to be going inside and scoring the whole game.
14 of the 25 Richfield points have come from January. The younger sister of Pamela January. Loeffler missed the bunny. Rebound, Coulter, no cleanup. Richfield ball.
North St. Paul shots is just not falling today.
They're not falling, but they're doing enough to stay close with Richfield. And they had to sweat it out in the first meeting as well to overcome a deficit and win it in overtime. North St. Paul knows how to beat this team. Hannah Wise drains the three. 10-point lead for Richfield, but when you beat a team that's expected to beat you, you've got some confidence and perhaps you don't have a sense of panic. Loeffler certainly isn't panicking.
Well, she's the lead scorer on the team.
Well, right now, Luger's leading the North St. Paul Polars in points with 9. Loeffler is 6. Guyton, spinorama, and she's fouled. 2:27 left in the first half. I'd like to remind you, coming up at halftime, we will show you some performances from the Richfield Pep Band, who's here tonight, and we'll have first half stats and analysis.
We got the Pep Band, we got the cheerleaders, and as you see, the audience has decided to come out of this severe cold weather to watch this game.
And much to your joy, there's a tuba player. Even though you were a percussionist. If you were a percussionist, why did you go there and not tuba if you like tubas?
No, my issue was you can't have a band without a tuba. It's the bass. You need the bass.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I love the vibrations, the shaking of the bass, and it just makes Luger's baskets. Oh, we almost had an N1 from Jaskolski. Just the pulse you get from the bass that you don't necessarily get from the treble. I don't know how we got to that point in our conversation. Jaskolski at the line. The foul is on Moore. That's her first. Jaskolski averaging 9.2 points per game. Only one player in North St. Paul averages 10 or more, and that's Loeffler, but that doesn't mean the rest of the Polars are slouches. It's North St. Paul favoring defense.
A lot of role players, a lot of defensive players.
Well,
it's not a bad thing.
And the only thing that matters at the end is how many points you have. Jessica January tried to do what Tessa Sitchie did when she paid a visit here a couple weeks ago for Hill Murray, getting a layup while falling, but it doesn't quite work. Well, I think that Hill Murray game gave her some motivation. She could do cartwheels and somersaults, but she's thinking, if I can get a layup falling down. January is called for the foul. That's Richfield's last to give, and Loeffler at the line.
North St. Paul is slowly making a comeback.
And once again, they're getting it done from the free throw line like they did in the first meeting. They're down by 5. Top of the key, January, bullseye.
Well, you can't leave her open. You have to put a hand in her face, and she's going to be shooting it all night.
Already has 17. Her career high is 40. Luger, count it.
She is fighting her way in.
Daniel Larson said Luger makes the North St. Paul Polars go. Well, right now I'd say Luger is making them not just go, they're catapulting.
She has a lot of heart. You don't find that in too many girl ball players.
Foul is on Emily Wangeren. Luger with 12 points. She averages 8.9 a game.
She's way past that now.
And North St. Paul doing what they need to do. You know, Wise, tough shot, doesn't go.
Great defense.
Hannigan open, but January strips it away. Now a scramble. Luger gets the bailout timeout call.
Timeout. That's good. That was great hustling by North St. Paul.
And good IQ for the Polars. Just a byproduct again. Just a byproduct of her and the other leaders on this team.
Well, as I was saying before, you got a lot of role players, I mean, a lot of defensive players. There's nothing wrong with that, man. You play your role. You got 2 scorers. Makes it a good, solid team.
They only give up 42 points per game. Defensively sound, and that's why they're 13-6. I mean, they did lose to Hill Murray by 19, although they gave up fewer points than Richfield did, although...
Well, let's be honest, Hill Murray's good.
And as Leanne Wise told me, how do you stop a night when Hill Murray's shooting about 70% and with a half-court shot to boot? Luger, long 2, got it.
There you go.
Luger single-handedly keeping the North St. Paul Polars
game, just like that.
And you'd think Richfield would be up by 10 or 20 with all the missed shots early for North St. Paul, but again, the Polars have beaten the Spartans once. They know they can beat them again.
Well, you talked about it before the game, and North St. Paul plays that slow pace, they slow down the tempo, and play the old-fashioned basketball.
Well, what I've seen is slow and fast, if that makes any sense. North St. Paul not afraid to get in Richfield's face and pursue. There are other teams like Woodbury where they'll get a layup or have a clean shot, and instead of a layup, they'll back off. North St. Paul will pursue if they have an opening.
24 seconds.
Richfield may be opting to hold for the final shot. There is no shot clock in basketball, so that can be done. In January, doesn't need much time to find a shot. There she goes, but she misses. Guyton with the rebound, misses the layup. January is fouled with 1.7 seconds left. It's a non-shooting foul, but Richfield still with plenty of time to get a shot off. Not this time. An offensive foul on January.
Yeah, she just ran right through her and pushed off.
And North St. Paul now with time. January pleading her case.
She better watch it or she get teched up.
Nah, she's too mature for that. But North St. Paul, could we have another half-court shot?
No, I don't think so.
Jaskolski,
not
this time.
So, no.
So my voice will be saved for the second half. But North St. Paul coming back. They were down by as much as 12 in the first half. They only trail by 3, and you have to think they've got some confidence again.
Well, they started off slow, and they actually woke up and started scoring and started slowing down Richfield's tempo and then Richfield's offense.
So your thoughts on the first half? What do both teams need to do?
Well, the North St. Paul got to continue what they're doing, play defense, slow down Richfield. On Richfield's side, it's got to continue. January's got to give January the ball and let her go to work.
So we'll take a break and get to work on our stat compiling and come back with our first half stats and analysis. In the meantime, check out some of our video of the Richfield Pep Band.
The band.
And we welcome you back to Richfield High School as TSB Television continues its coverage of high school girls basketball. We have a classic Suburban Conference match for you between North St. Paul and Richfield. Let's take a look at our in-game box score. Only 7 players have scored so far in this game. Leading those players is Jessica January with only 17 points.
Only 17?
Only 17, I know. That's such a disappointment. Actually, she's already passed a couple of her totals. She scored 10, of course, with Edina, and only 11 in their win over Montevideo. Hannah Wise has 10, and Sierra Ford Washington has 4. And on North St. Paul's end, Abby Luger leading the way with 14 points. Lisa Loeffler has 7. Sophie Jaskolski with 5. And Rachel Coulter with 2. If you had asked me only 7 players would be on the board after 18 minutes, I would have disagreed with you.
Yeah, I would agree with you the same way. 7 players, that's unheard of.
But you have to give credit to the senior leadership of North St. Paul, particularly with Luger. She kept things going when it looked like North St. Paul could have bowed out early.
Well, yeah, she's like the anchor of the, I'm not going to say the anchor, but she's one of the leaders and the captains of the team, so leadership does play a factor.
We'd like to thank GrandStadium.tv for providing an outlet to webcast these games, and we'd also like to remind you if you want to order a DVD copy of this, just visit us at thesportsbrain1.blogspot.com. Richfield wearing their maroon, North St. Paul wearing the white, of course. And they will get the ball rolling to start the second half. North St. Paul trailed by as much as 12. Loeffler goes down.
Almost traveled.
Jump ball. And Richfield with the possession arrow. And looking back at our keys to the game, one of them was containing Jessica January. Well, so far she has 17.
That's pretty much containing for most teams.
Well, they've had some problems containing the top 2 scorers, January and Wise, but everybody else, North St. Paul, is shut down, including Anderson, who's blocked by Jaskolski. That will stay with Richfield.
That was a great block, but it wasn't no SWAT block. That's what I call it. To get it out of here, SWAT.
Bethany Doolittle has warped his mind. Guiding inside, going to Wise. She struggled from behind the arc in the first half, and she gets the runner.
Wow, she threw it up and praying that it'll go in.
Didn't look like it was scripted, but 2 points, sir, 2 points. Coulter going to Luger. She had the hot hand in the first half, and she draws the foul on Anderson and will go to the charity stripe.
She's finding a way to get to the basket. I mean, whether she's fouled or going up for a layup, I mean, she's getting in.
She's finding a way to score, too.
Again, you're talking about leadership. She's carrying the team on her back right now.
She averages about 9 a game, as we mentioned. She already has 15.
She'll probably have double by that.
Well, North St. Paul needs her at the moment. Loeffler getting some protection, but not necessarily what you would expect. But it's all about who steps up, not necessarily the stars. It's still a 3-point game. Ford Washington gets the roll.
Nice
that gives her 6. Just one of 3 Spartans with points. Luger stays on her feet, avoids the traveling call, finds an open Coulter.
Oh, she should have shot that.
Said she drives inside, and it pays off.
Then again, I take that back.
She heard you, and then she's like, "I'll watch this. I'll prove him wrong." No.
I mean, if you can get to the basket, hey, by all means, get to the basket.
We've seen that a lot tonight, actually. A lot of pump fakes to drive left or right.
It is an easy 2 points, but it's also a hard 2 points. Oh, whoa, what we got here?
Luger pokes it away from January, and no jump ball's called. Savageau's open on the other end. It's now a 1-point game. North St. Paul was down by 12 early in the first. Now they have a chance for the lead if they can stop Richfield here.
I believe they caught January sleeping.
Guyton missed. Could we see another upset? There's still a lot of time left, but North St. Paul, they've got the confidence for the lead.
Oh.
Loeffler short. Wise with the rebound. Wise evades the double team. Draws a foul. I thought Fort Washington behind her was open.
Yeah, I don't know why she passed it. I think she was trying to be a hero at one point.
And that's something Leanne Wise has worked on, especially with January, and she said that's one reason why her leadership has gone up, but so is Wise. Like last year, a player like January or Wise would try to be the hero and do 1-on-3, 1-on-5, and you're just not going to get much success that way.
Well, it goes back to, you know, I guess being young, and as you get older, you mature, and you've been on a team for a while, you learn as the season go by.
Guyton will be called for the reach-in on Loeffler. That will be your first personal. Jaskolski with the quick layup and makes it a 1-point game again. She has 7. North St. Paul has capitalized on Richfield falling asleep on inbounds plays.
Yeah, and that's hurting them right now. That and Richfield falling asleep.
Moore tried to find Wise, but she lost it. Jaskolski had the steal. Here comes Luger. Kicks out. Big three.
Oh,
buried
there
it!
we go.
Savageau gives North St. Paul their first lead of the game. Leanne Wise calls timeout. Savageau with 5. She was scoreless in the opening stanza.
And North St. Paul not only is waking up, it's knocking on the door.
And we had said in the open, they were struggling from the floor, even though they were getting victories for the last 5 games. But Daniel Larson said he holds high standards for his team, as most good coaches do, and lets them know that, yes, we might win, but that doesn't mean we can't improve. And North St. Paul definitely showing signs of improvement here. Again, reeling off 5 straight wins after losing to Hill Murray.
Yeah, basically they said, we're not going anywhere. We're here. What you gonna do about it?
And what kind of challenge does this present to a Richfield team that's been through some adversity, but they're still young? They've come out on top before with that victory over Providence Academy, but we've also seen them on the other end with that 35-point blowout to Hill Murray.
Well, it goes back to talent, and it goes back to inconsistency. If you're not inconsistent. But then again, like I said, Richfield's good. I mean, you have to come to play, bring your A game against Richfield.
And as we talked about it before, sometimes one team is just a kryptonite to another team for whatever reason.
Yep, it happens.
North St. Paul just might be that kryptonite, but there's still a lot of time left. 13:52 to go in the second half. Nothing's been decided yet, but we've got ourselves a game. Richfield slowing things down. They're playing right into North St. Paul's hands, you would think. Fort Washington missed. Luger with the rebound. January almost poked it away.
Yeah, you got to watch the ball when January's in front of you, because you never know what can happen.
No steal, but she has defensive tenacity. She's going to make North St. Paul think
Get
twice.
Out of here.
And she gets a block. What hasn't she done? Ford Washington out to Lindblom. Can't get the tie. Guyton with the rebound, but not good positioning on the follow-up. And the third time's a charm. We are tied. That's the second time Richfield has gotten a couple offensive boards and used it to their advantage.
We have another close game this time.
We had a close game the first time. Foul on Wise. This is why games are not played on paper. Actually, if you looked at it on paper, wouldn't be too lopsided either. I mean, the record's not all that different. Richfield 15-3, North St. Paul 13-6. Jaskolski out to Loeffler. She's got the pull-up, and she hasn't lost it yet.
She can shoot. You said it at the beginning of the game. She can shoot the outside shot. She can shoot inside.
And having that range can make a post player very deadly on offense. 41-39. North St. Paul over Richfield as the Polars try to complete a sweep of their classic suburban rival. Guyton open. She's got to pull up too.
Yeah, you can't leave her open.
That's 4 points for Guyton.
You leave her open, she's going to pull up for the jump shot.
Well, you would expect that out of a player like January or Wise, but Guyton showing her range too. Coulter missed the three. Jaskolski with the rebound.
Nice rebound.
Savageau out to Luger for three.
Bullseye.
19 points
Whoa,
for Abby Luger.
Oh.
And Savageau almost gets the steal.
Her foot was on the line.
And the other thing, January hasn't scored yet in the second half. She has yet to get a shot off.
Again, Richfield's falling asleep. You cannot do that against North St. Paul.
Big game for Luger. You know, if North St. Paul pulls off this win, as Wise is short, gets her own rebound, and gets the... Is she padding her stats again? No. We say that jokingly because of the offensive rebounds, and there was a case when the Gophers beat Northwestern, I believe. They had a series of 6 offensive rebounds before getting a basket.
Wow.
And so we say that jokingly, but it's really just an example of the leadership, even on a young Richfield team. They will follow their shots, even if it misses. You never know when you'll get another chance.
That's something you learn in practice.
Wise makes both free throws. It's a 1-point game. Savageau making a look at 4, but she's short, and Ford Washington will just let it go out of bounds.
Well, now, I don't know why she shot that. I mean, she rushed that shot.
Lindblom to January.
Her
first basket of the second half. She matches the game high at 19. Her average is 26.3. Loeffler driving left, and she will draw the foul on Guyton. That's her second.
Yeah, they gave her the baseline. I seen it. I seen it up here, and I'm way up here. I gave her the left side baseline.
Get this. Richfield, or January has 19
nice.
points for
that.
Richfield. Luger gets the floater. Luger with 21. She averages 8.9 a game. January leading for Richfield. She averages 26.3 a game, currently has 19.
Forget what I said about the double the points. It might be triple the points by the time this game is over with.
She's already more than doubled her average. 8.9 a game for Luger, and she has 21.
That's always a plus. You score more than your average. It's always a plus.
Luger. Not that time, but Jaskolski almost had the rebound. And it will stay North St. Paul's way. 10:01 left in the second. To say this is clutch time would be pointing out the obvious.
Clutch time.
Crunch time, I should say.
Oh,
Clutch,
okay.
whatever. Savageau missed. January with the rebound, and she's fouled.
That's the second time she shot that shot on the side.
Hannigan will be called for the foul. She has no points. It's her first. Fouling about even, and that's going to be key because, again, the last game came down to free throws. Larson having a word with the official. The Super Bowl might be behind us, but we've got another epic match developing here at Richfield.
The Super Bowl. You compare this to the Super Bowl?
Guyton and one. You get my point?
I was hoping you would say the All-Star game or NBA basketball or March Madness, but you compare
Well, they don't take the All-Star game seriously, though. The NBA All-Star game, no, I mean, they take that as a joke. Guyton missed a three-point play, but she gives the Spartans a one-point lead again. And players who were not scoring in the first half are coming up big in the second.
There you go. That's what you're supposed to
Luger
do.
is blocked by January. Richfield ball. January got her hand in there just in time.
But I'm glad she passed it rather than shooting it.
Like we said, that defensive tenacity out of January, who may put up a lot of points, but she does a lot of things for the Richfield team. That team-first mentality, she just shows up on the newspapers a little more. Guyton
Nice
inside,
assist.
got it. Guyton playing large, that's her 8th point of the half. Wise with the steal. And she's fouled by Hannigan. So our perch up above, Tony Gear is thinking that Richfield needs to go zone. Your thoughts on it?
I can see that happening. Richfield goes zone because they only up by 3 points going zone because North St. Paul is getting to the basket a whole lot.
But Luger's been hot from the three-point line. I know going zone would perhaps stop going inside, but when you have a player like Luger who's been doing well from three-point range, do you run a risk?
I mean, you have to roll the dice every now and then.
Anderson missed, and she fouls Luger in the process. That's her 4th. Guyton has 2. Anderson got in foul trouble the last time these two teams met, and that's what helped North St. Paul win. Again, Richfield, not a deep roster, not a big roster. Savageau passes up the 3. Feeds
Nice give
inside.
and go. Oh.
No foul called, but it will stay North St. Paul ball with 8:17 left.
Now, at the beginning of the game, you was talking about North St. Paul's IQ. That's the second time they've done a pass give and go to their player to go for the basket.
Jaskolski. And one. Wise with the foul. That will be your 3rd. Correction, her 2nd. Jaskolski with 9. She's at her average.
You got a few Richfield players in foul trouble.
Guyton losing it to Savageau, and January's called for the foul.
3 fouls.
Richfield in the penalty.
Foul trouble will hurt Richfield in this game. I'm telling you that right now.
North St. Paul still with a foul to give. And Savageau, who averages 6.6 a game, has a chance to give North St. Paul the lead back. This is the second. Well, fans are doing whatever they can to get their team, to get their home team a victory. Guyton, 15-footer, got it!
She's got to step up as well.
Well, and you see Guyton, she made that mistake on the other end. She gets the 15-footer. It's clear she's not shaken up. Guyton with 10. She hadn't scored a single point in the first half. Luger. Well, that would have been big. Guyton with the rebound. January to Lindblom. Lindblom. Too hard. Savageau out to Loeffler. Long two. Oh, Loeffler's got a sweet stroke.
She's got that power forward type jump shot. Kind of like Kevin Garnett or Kevin Love.
We're tied at 51 with 7:06 remaining in the second half. It looked like Richfield was going to run away. They were up by 12, and since then, it's been back and forth. January with the right-handed hook, or bank, she has 21. So she ties Luger again for the game high. Luger out to Loeffler again. Not this time. Guyton with the rebound.
Popped in, popped out.
Big possession here for Richfield. As we enter the closing minutes. Richfield slowing things down. Again, they can play either tempo, fast or slow. Lindblom. Again. I think she's trying to be the hero a little too hard.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Loeffler looking for Jaskolski, but Lindblom was there to disrupt it. She's looking for Ford Washington. She finds her. Ford Washington pulls back and gets the swish. Just outside the foul lane. Ford Washington with 8.
And that was with the hand in her face.
Luger. Out to Loeffler.
There we go.
Richfield has found nothing to stop Loeffler's sweet stroke.
It picked off.
Savageau with the steal. January. And Guyton fouls Luger. That will be Guyton's third. And you fouled a player who's done big things to keep her team alive.
She is having a big game this game. 21 points.
Luger misses the front end, and the Richfield fans doing whatever they can. And I don't know, it just might be working.
Yeah, it's working.
Misses both. Well, we see that happen in the college and the pros. Crowd trying to get into the mentality, and January overthrows Ford Washington.
Nah, she put her hands there. She should have caught it. That's a football rule. You put your hands there, you must catch it.
That was a Jordy Nelson drop.
Jordy Nelson drop.
Well, you can't fault him too much, though. He did come up with some big catches. Guyton with the foul. That gives her 4. So Guyton and Anderson once again in foul trouble. And that plays into the hands. That plays into the hands of North St. Paul. Wangeren's going to come in. Anderson going in as well. She has 4. January has 3. Loeffler misses, and January is fouled. So now North St. Paul uses up their last foul to give. That's on Coulter, her second. North St. Paul has the edge in depth. Well, Richfield all season has been tested with adversity. This will be another one. They've got both their post players one foul away from disqualification. Their top player has 3 and only 4 points in the second half. Is this a time when January perhaps becomes a little less unselfish?
That's a good point. That's a good question. I mean, will she put the team on her shoulders, or will she get the team involved?
She's not afraid to put the team on her shoulder, or the team first mentality, but you do wonder if this is a time when she may have to put the team on her shoulders and carry them to the finish. Jump ball, North St. Paul with the possession arrow. 4:16, and I can feel my pulse rising. I don't know about you, but I can feel the intensity, the drama of this classic suburban game.
Oh!
Fouls on Wise. That's her third. North St. Paul in the double bonus.
She can tie this game.
They've had some chances to tie, and they've missed from the free throw line.
They're missing a lot.
And Loeffler quiets the Richfield fans.
Let's see if she can do it again.
Yes. 15 points for Loeffler. We're tied again at 55. January spins and draws the foul. It's a shooting foul, but again, both teams now in the penalty. Fouls on Hannigan, her third. We had overtime in the first meeting between these two teams. Do you think we could have overtime again?
I can see it. Or I can see a buzzer beater, either or.
That's right, there's still time for one of those.
We're due for one of those.
January with 22. She now has the game high, but I think she's a little more concerned about her team. She's come up big, that's for sure. And Anderson touched it. If Anderson lets that go, that's a turnover.
It was a miscommunication.
And North St. Paul with a big break. If Anderson lets that go, that's a turnover. Richfield ball. And I can't watch. Loeffler, spinorama. Got it.
She made it look so easy.
North St. Paul with the lead. Here comes January again. Gets the bank on the left side. Is this the time?
She's put this team on her shoulders.
Is this the time when she goes into fourth gear?
I think she's going to be like Jordan in '92.
Or in '97, don't forget the flu game.
The '97.
Game 5 against Utah, who can forget that? 31 points.
I'm going way back to like '92.
Which game?
When they played the Knicks.
Leanne Wise calls timeout and adds a dramatic pause with 3:03 to go. So January, who made the last basket to give Richfield the lead, won the 100 and 300 meter hurdles in the Class 2A girls track tournament last year. She also placed third in the long jump. She's got a lot of maturity to her that we didn't see last year. Believes in the team concept, and that's why she's getting looks from the Big Ten. And Leanne Wise is hoping that a few schools out in the Big East or the big powerhouses, Tennessee and UConn, take notice.
I can see UConn. I can see Gino coming to one of the games out here, or one of his assistants. I do not want to see him in orange and white. Don't want to see it. No.
Well, Minnesota's hoping that she'll join the maroon and gold, and there's some other Big Ten schools looking at her.
I mean, if she's USA Today nationwide good, All-American type good, yeah, I can see Gino coming out here.
Well, January routinely plays all 36 minutes of a game because Richfield hasn't been all that healthy. They got Lindblom back after she had an ankle sprain or a concussion. Wise, or that was Washington, who was short.
I thought that was a block. I thought that would have been Richfield's ball.
We're not in the stripes, so the calls they make are the calls everyone's got to live with.
Oh,
Coulter open, and she finishes.
Nobody in the backside.
Is it time for Richfield to go to the zone?
Nobody is in the backside.
Back door is open, and North St. Paul joins the party. January again. Doesn't fall. Loeffler with the rebound, 2:16 left.
Look for North St. Paul to run the clock out.
I don't know. You've got January, who is not afraid to be aggressive on defense.
There's only
You've
one
got
player.
2:12 left. That's an eternity. Yes, that's only one, but you can tell she's spilled over to the rest of the team. I don't think you can sit back for 2:08.
Well, drain the clock as much as you can.
Well, yes, but if you keep sitting back, you're going to give Richfield more opportunities to do that.
But then again, they're only up by one.
And North St. Paul forced to use a timeout. They still have 2 remaining. 59-58 with 1:55 to go. A lot can happen between now and then. Now, off broadcast, this was a game that Tony handicapped Richfield winning by 12.
He said that?
I don't know if we're going to get to 12, but this game's been pretty close.
Unless Reggie Miller's coming in the door. But that was 97 also.
No, Tony's got a pretty good eye. Most of the time, he's spot on with his observations.
Unless somebody like Tyler Hill comes in the door. Taylor Hill.
She's doing some big things at Ohio State. Her high school days are done. That I can assure you. She won't be coming back here. Well, she will be coming back here, just not in a high school jersey. Ohio State is paying a visit to Minnesota next Sunday.
Oh, the girls?
Yes.
Oh,
and that's a game a lot of Gophers fans believe is winnable because Ohio State has struggled. They were a shoo-in for a 7th straight conference title, and it doesn't look that way now. Richfield cannot foul. They are in the double bonus. Or the North St. Paul in the double bonus, I should say. 1:40 remaining. Luger.
Oh,
had
nice
a big
screen.
game. Coulter with that go-ahead basket, and she draws the foul on Wise with 1:30 to go.
So
that's going to be Wise's 4th, and you send Coulter to the line.
Free throws is going to play a difference. Let's see what happens. Well, that was way too hard.
1 of 2. So Richfield can tie or take the lead here.
I think look like you might be going to overtime. What do you think?
Well, we're tied now. January coming up big. 26 points. She's at her average. 60-60. January going for the steal. That leaves Coulter open on the left side. And she's short. Anderson with a big rebound. Big possession here in the final minute of play.
Are we going to have a buzzer beater or are we going to overtime?
A lot can happen. North St. Paul, will they get a steal? Will they get a stop? And don't forget, there's also the 5-second rule. The clock hasn't started yet on that. But that can change some things. Guyton, she's big in the second half. And she gets a big layup here. 32.4 seconds left. We've got a timeout. Oh my goodness.
Well, somebody other than January.
Well, Guyton's come up big for the Spartans in this half.
Well, she's had a big second half.
Just like Luger has come up big for the Polars all game. And still plenty of time left. We could still have overtime. Officials are discussing where do they inbound the ball, and that's the right call. Again, the timeout was called on the inbound.
Richfield is playing zone press.
Got to be careful, though. They've left the back door open a few times. They screened January, but it doesn't work. Jaskolski out to Loeffler. She's short, and Richfield will let it go and get a big turnover with 13.6 seconds. Richfield in the penalty, but they have to get the inbounds off. They're going January deep. And January's just going to run out clock. She will make North St. Paul foul her. Now she goes to Anderson, back to January. And a smart play by January, backing off, even though she had a one-on-one, ate up more clock, 5.2 seconds, and now she's going to the line for a chance to ice the game.
About 8 seconds she drained out.
Oh boy, I don't need to tell you what's at stake. Leanne Wise saying, what are we waiting for? Richfield all the way back. In case January misses, Richfield is as far back as they can go to prevent an easy basket for North St. Paul. Big free throw by January. And now that should ice it. North St. Paul running out of time. Luger fires off a three, and it's short, but it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah. Richfield survives with a 64-60 win. January, Richfield's player of the game, scored as many points in this game as she did in the first game, but the difference is Richfield came out with the win.
Yeah, those foul shots put the dagger in Richfield to come on top.
Well, it wasn't just that. The play of the game was Jessica January's maturity. A one-on-one, she had a potential layup that may have iced the game, but instead she backs off because she knows Richfield was in a position to eat up clock.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do that sometimes. Can't be a hero all the time.
Well, she was a hero for doing that.
Yeah. I mean, other ways of winning the game, not by being selfish.
So we will take a quick break and come back with our players of the game for both teams in a moment. I'm here with Abby Luger of North St. Paul. She scored 21 points, came up a little bit short this time, but North St. Paul always seems to show up when you come here to play Richfield.
Yeah, we did. We should have had that, but we missed some shots, but we'll get them next time.
You got them the first time, and given your season, a team that focuses on defense, you've held a team that beat Chanhassen with 99 points to 64 this time, and you almost came through yourself until the last minute.
Yeah, that's what we work on mainly. Our coach is really into defense, and we work on defense the whole time in practice, and then we shoot some more. And we work on defense a lot. It's one of our main goals.
The team has a leadership mentality. A few of the players coached an MYAS team before the season started. And describe the leadership on this team, because Loeffler came up big, you had a big game. It just seems that leadership bleeds to the rest of the Polars.
Yeah, we just work hard, and the leadership, me and Lisa have been playing together since third grade, so we know how to work it, and then we just go and play hard, and everybody just goes and plays how we play.
With a few more weeks left in Classic Suburban play, including another match with Hill Murray, what will you take from this game and what will you adapt for those final 2 weeks?
We'll probably work on some more defense and work on our free throws and some of the offensive things that didn't work out right. So we'll work on that and it'll be good.
Well, thanks for taking the time to speak with us and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thanks.
Abby Luger of North St. Paul. Mike Peden here with Breanne Guyton, who had a big second half, scoring 12 points to get her Richfield team past the hump this time and beat North St. Paul and prevent the sweep. You were scoreless in the first half. How did you find that fire in the second?
Our captains really pushed us in the locker room, and after that we all just got that fire and came out and played hard.
What does this mean for Richfield, a team that's dealt with a lot of adversity this year? You had to sweat out a win over Providence. You got blown out by Hill Murray. It hasn't been easy for Richfield's season.
Yeah, we just have a name to keep. We just need to keep pushing and proving everybody wrong, and that's where we get our strength.
And what does this win do for you, perhaps, as you finish out Classic Suburban play?
Just gives us confidence to keep going and knowing that we can beat any other team who we face.
Now, you scored the go-ahead basket in the final minute. How did you get open, and what was going through your mind?
Just to get it in the basket. I got the good pass, and 44 is a really good player, so she came out, ball fake, drive to the basket, get it in.
Well, that was a big basket, and in a big way for Richfield, and a big win for the Spartans. Congratulations. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, and who knows, we might see you come state tournament time.
All right, thank you.
Breanne Guyton, one of the Richfield players of the game. Mike Peden here with Jessica January, who scored as many points as she did in the first meeting with North St. Paul. The big difference is Richfield came out with the win, and you came out with 2 clutch free throws, just like you did against Providence Academy. What's the deal? You're making a habit out of this.
Yeah, well, we do practice a lot of free throws in practice, so, you just get to line and focus. It's just like practice. So.
Coach Leanne Wise has said a lot of things about maturity from you and from the rest of the team this year, and that came to fruition in that last play. You had a one-on-one but passed it up to eat up more clock. Was that your plan?
No, I actually was planning to go in, but obviously they had 3 people in there, and it's like they have to focus so much on me. It just made it so much easier to pass it, so I did.
This continues the test of adversity. After getting blown out by Hill Murray, you've sweated out a couple wins against Providence Academy and now North St. Paul. What does this say about the Richfield program and their rebound?
That even from losing that bad, we're able to come back and, beat some pretty good teams. So, it gives us some confidence and makes us believe, we're able to play with teams like that.
And what were you thinking going to the line for those 2 free throws after experiencing that situation already this season?
I was just telling myself, I've done this before, I can put it in, and I just, let my form do the rest of it. So.
This is our last scheduled Richfield game of the season, and last time I asked if you wanted to say hi to anybody. This time, I'm going to put you on the soapbox. If there's anything you'd like to say about the teammates, about the coaches, about the team, as you finish out Classic Suburban play.
I love my teammates, I love my team, I love my coach, and, thanks all the fans for coming and watching us, and my family especially. So.
Well, I'm sure they're big supporters, and so is the rest of the Richfield squad. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, and congratulations on the big win.
Thank you.
Jessica January, we've got another player of the game coming up shortly. I'm here with Hannah Wise of Richfield, one of the players of the game. Well, another big win, and you had to sweat out some foul trouble to get there.
Yeah, I've been struggling sometimes with the fouling, but the refs weren't really doing good for either team today, so we just played with it and we worked it. So
I can't elaborate, I'm not in the stripes. But it happened the last time with North St. Paul and in Providence Academy, players getting in foul trouble and Richfield just finding ways to step up. How do you believe they stepped up this time?
Well, we made our free throws. Last game against them, we were only 34%. This time, we were a lot better on that. We were making our outside shots, and just a lot better all around for everybody.
Describe the development in maturity, because we've seen a lot of it from Richfield. After losing to Hill Murray by 35 and trailing by 13 to Providence Academy and nearly sweating one out here with North St. Paul, we're seeing Richfield come out on top.
we've gotten a lot better at like keeping control in the final minutes and stuff. Like our first couple games, we would kind of be a little slow on that stuff and throw it away, but we're learning to take care of the ball a lot more, and we're just becoming stronger with it. Yeah.
How will that set you up in the final 2 weeks of Classic Suburban play and then section play?
I think we'll go in a lot stronger in every game and hopefully come out with every win and get to state.
And finally, is there anything you'd like to say if I put you on the soapbox about teammates, about coaches, about the Richfield fan base?
Our fans are great, everything. Our whole team, we're a great team. We all like each other, no problems. And of course, I love the coach because that's my mom, so I have to.
Well, I'm sure your teammates will like this victory and this nice setup for the final push of the season. Congratulations, and who knows, we might see you again in the playoffs.
Yeah, thanks.
Hannah Wise, Richfield's last player of the game. That does it from here. Richfield with a 64-60 win. For everyone here at TSP Television, I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.